All right, everybody, I am live, and soon to join me is Kate Colbert. She's there. I see her, but I don't think she hears me yet. So, Kate, hello. I think we're going to work on that, but she's going to get in on the audio here in a minute. Really, really excited about this today because we are going to talk about how you can promote your book if you are an author and you are having difficulty not being able to do things like, I don't know, go have a book signing. So let's see here. We're going to work through the technical difficulties here. There we go. So she's going to pop in and out. So for those of you who are following along as fellow authors, we know that sometimes selling your books is a challenge. Sometimes it happens easy. Sometimes you have no idea where your book sales are coming from. And as we, we try and sell them, I always have them, promoted. I have them sitting next to me all the time. But there's a lot of ways that I think we can and should promote our books. And there's probably some that don't have a whole lot of ROI. So my friend, colleague, and actually publisher of my books, Kate Colbert, who will hop back on in a minute, she's going to try a different browser. And she and I have been talking lately about, what does this mean in a changing environment? So in 2020, I had a number of book signings that were set up, and then they all went by the wayside. And so, now what do we do when we're in a more virtual world? So I see Kate's back. Kate, can you hear me yet?
I can.
Yay. Okay, good. Because you're the one with all the great information. I didn't want to lose it. So, Kate, I just did a little kind of an intro to say, for those of us who are authors, the interesting thing about, selling a book and promoting your book is, sometimes you have sales that you don't even know where they came from. Right. The other day, randomly out of the blue, I had a Kindle version of my Tell Me More sell in like Japan. I don't know how I got that. I mean, I feel lucky, but you just don't know how they get. But I know that you've got some really great tips for how we can actually make a difference, get our books out there, seen, and maybe purchased. So, I'll just throw it to you. You can start the conversation.
Sure. So maybe it makes sense to talk about a few things that are sort of evergreen, things that will help you promote your book now and when the pandemic is behind us. And then we can also talk about sort of adjustment strategies for, what do you do if you're used to being able to throw actual face-to-face parties and signings and what have you. How do you think about that a little bit differently? But one of the things that I think a lot of authors are not doing or not doing well is taking advantage of price promotions for their ebooks. So whether your ebook is available exclusively through Amazon's Kindle store and belongs to the KDP Select program, which a lot of authors choose to do that, or if your ebook is published what's called wide, meaning that it's not exclusive to Amazon, and that your ebook is also available through Kobo, Barnes & Noble for the Nook device, Apple Books, Telia, you name it. No matter how you're doing it, you have opportunities to be able to lower your ebook price to something like $1.99 or 99 cents, or even to make it free from time to time. And there are various ways to do that. And I think what a lot of people, they think somehow changing the price will magically attract customers. And that's not true. So what happens when you lower the price of your book, whether it's your paperback or your audiobook or your Kindle edition, there will be people who are maybe your clients or already in your network, people who know you through LinkedIn, who've been meaning to buy your book, and they just keep forgetting to do it. And then they see it's on sale, they'll finally get around to buying it. That helps, but that's how you sell an extra 20 copies, right? But how do you sell an extra 200 copies? How do you sell 500 copies, 1,000 copies? That requires getting on the radar of people who don't know about you now. And it's about getting in front of people who are not on your mailing list, even if you have a big mailing list. And so doing a price promotion, just changing the price is not enough. You need to change the price, and then you need to be partnering with somebody who has an opt-in list, an email list of thousands of people who are interested in books like yours in your genre. So if you're a fiction writer and you write romance, there are people who will sign up through different ebook sort of discount programs to say, yes, every time there's a really great book on sale for 99 cents that I might like, please tell me. And there are lists for every genre: self-help, memoir, business, regular sort of general nonfiction. So these organizations are a really good place to start. And one of the questions people will ask me is, are they affordable? If I want to be able to promote my book to 30,000 people through one of these kinds of programs, can I afford that kind of advertising? And the answer is yes. So they vary, just like all kinds of things vary, right? So, if you're somebody who goes on podcasts regularly, you know that to be a guest on many, many podcasts is free. And some of them require some sort of a booking fee. And the ones that will give you like crazy, amazing results that will help you sell your book and grow your business have a really expensive booking fee to get onto those podcasts. The same is true of getting your book promoted through, whether it's Bargain Booksy versus BookBub, for example. So you kind of get what you're paying for in terms of the size of the list, but you can have somebody distribute your book to people who are interested in your genre at the tune of like 30,000 emails all in one day for $35 US. So these are not expensive to do. They require coordination, but these are the kinds of things you can either do on your own, or you can teach an admin or a marketing person in your company. There are rules about how often a book can be promoted on certain platforms. There are rules if you have contracts with Amazon, for example, how often you can lower your price. There are minimum prices you can have based on the size of the file that's being distributed. But I would always recommend that people start by looking at the ebook promotions that are available through an organization called Written Word Media. They have some really interesting, so they own FreeBooksy, which is what it sounds like. They promote books that are ebooks that are free for the day. Bargain Booksy, we have for my business book, Think Like a Marketer, is actually a $2.99 Bargain Booksy deal today.
Nice.
And they also own several others. So if you're a romance novelist, they own Red Feather Romance. So there are a lot of opportunities. And these are the kinds of emails where they're only promoting a handful of books, and they send an email out every day, and it's curated. So if I'm somebody who's opted in to Bargain Booksy, and I've told them I'm only interested in fantasy, mystery, horror, and self-help, I will only see the promos for those particular genres. And so it's very, very highly customer friendly. And you're getting in front of the right people. So it's possible to spend a very little amount of money on a promo and get tons and tons of people to download your book. And I should mention, if your book is lacking in reviews, you should not be worried about making money off your book yet. You should be focused on how do you get more people to read it and to review it. Because some of the really amazing, so BookBub, BookBub, is really sort of the gold standard in price promotions. And they're a lot more expensive. You can spend $500, $700 to run a price promotion, but you might be getting your book in front of 1 million people who are interested in it, and you might be getting an average of 1,400 downloads of your book in one day. This is absolutely worth it. But you should be thinking about, does it make sense? Am I trying to make royalties? So should I be selling my ebook for $2.99 or $1.99 so I make something off of it? Or do I need to get some reviews? And so be willing to give it away at the beginning when you introduce a new book. Also, if you're writing a series, whether it's a business series or a novel series or a collection of short stories, if you're going to have 3 books or 5 books in a series, give away the first one for free permanently. It's a little bit tricky on Amazon to make an ebook perma-free because they technically don't allow for free books, but there are some ways to hack that. So again, if you use a platform like Draft to Digital, DRAFT, then the numeral 2, DIGITAL, drafttodigital.com, to make your book go wide so that you can sell your ebook on Apple Books and various other platforms, you can set your book to free through them on all those other platforms. Then you can email the folks over at Amazon and say, hey, I found this book for cheaper somewhere else. It's free. And Amazon will often price match, and they'll go ahead and make your book free on
Oh,
their platform. So there are ways to hack the system, but remember that people love samples. Anybody who's read my
yep.
book knows there's a whole chapter on sampling. So if you're going to sell 3 books in a series, always let people read the first book for free and then get them hooked, and then they're happily pay for the other books in the series. So price promos, and there's tons of them. I would say take a look at how large is their email list. There are also price promotion companies that don't do email lists, but they're just promoting via social media. If they've got 300,000 followers on Facebook, then it's worth your
Yep.
money.
Absolutely.
So it's all about, taking a look at that. But written word media, so Free Booksy, Bargain Booksy, Red Feather Romance is a great place to start. We're doing some tests with Book Cave, CAVE. Book Cave is one that we're kind of going to be testing out here as well. There are probably about 200 different organizations that do this. So you can go
Wow. I had
online
no
and
idea.
you can find lists of people, of different platforms you can try. But the gold standard is BookBub. Everybody loves BookBub. It's not easy, and you should know, again, for places like Book Cave and BookBub, this is not a pay for play. It's not just please promote my book on this date and I'll pay you. They have to accept you. And if your book has fewer than 20 reviews, if its Amazon star rating is lower than 4.3 typically, you're likely
Good.
not going to get approved. So
Hmm.
they want to be putting good books in front of their customers because they don't want their email list folks to opt out. But I would say this is a really great place to start, is you should be taking a look at price promotions for your ebook.
Excellent. Well, a couple of things. I know that we are actually only going to go about 4 more minutes, and then you and I are going to hop over to Clubhouse. So if anybody who's following that wants to follow us over there, we're going to continue the discussion. But one quick question for you, Kate. And I don't know what the good answer is. Maybe you have a good answer. Is I have so many people that say, "Oh, I love your book or your books," and then I feel like I'm hounding them to say, please leave me a review. If you've taken the time to write me the email to tell me you love my books, could
Yeah.
you just please put it on? So if you do, like, for instance, a big free promotion in the hopes of adding to those reviews, I know it's not as simple as an author to have that follow-up email that you get after you get, your 10-pound bag of beef jerky that
Yep.
says, please rate your experience. How can you help boost that process so you'll get more ratings and reviews?
So here's a sort of dirty little secret. Strangers are actually more likely to review your book than your friends are.
Really?
And it's not fair. I mean, sort of my first 30 reviews, I was like begging my clients and people who said they loved the book. And like you said, they wrote an email. I would send them back. I would give them the content of what they posted on Twitter or whatever else and say, here is a link to where to write the review. Would you be willing to copy and paste this? I would be so honored. Some people did it. Most people didn't.
Yeah.
There are also ethical guidelines. So if you are caught asking for a review on Amazon, your Amazon account, or not on Amazon, on Facebook, Facebook can shut your account off. So they've really put in a lot of restrictions about pay for play or pressuring people into reviews. And Amazon is cracking down hard on fake reviews because product reviews sells
Wow.
products. So
Right.
you have to be very careful. And also, if your friend says, oh, I love Michael, we've been friends for 10 years, and she says that in her review, Amazon's likely not going to publish it because they want reviews from strangers, not from friends. So statistically speaking, somewhere between 3 and 10% of book readers will write a review. So the idea is just to get your book in as many hands as you possibly can and let those reviews start to happen organically. But it means you have to promote. Your book has to be really, really out there in a big way. So before we jump, in case people are trying to decide whether to come with us over to Clubhouse, some of the things we'll be talking about is we're going to talk about infrastructure. So what you need to be building as an author right now in terms of your own social media platforms, your website, your book description on Amazon, discoverability on social, all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your brand visibility. how to be known, be seen, and toot your own horn so that people see you as an acclaimed author, so they want to buy your books. We'll talk about bulk sales and custom editions. We'll talk about whether it makes sense to give away free autographed copies of your book, when and how, what a virtual book party looks like during the pandemic, how to think about selling your books through your website, and how to really sort of engage sort of a street team, and maybe more. We'll sort of see what people want to talk about.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Kate. We will hop off here. I know, just real quick, obviously, I'm Michael Sherlock at shockyourpotential.com. You can't miss my website up there. Kate, real quick, they can find you at katecolbert.com.
You can find me at katecolbert.com. And if you're looking to create some sort of professional relationship, LinkedIn is a really great place to start with hello. Or if you just want to follow my books and that kind of stuff, there is a Facebook public figure page for Kate Colbert, author and marketer.
Excellent. All right. See everybody over on Clubhouse in about 13 seconds. See ya.